Welcome to Tuesday night. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Meringolo. He is Kevin Ricca.
And I'm happy. I'm very happy. Just very happy.
well.
I'm happy that we're in burgundy and gold down here. I'm happy that we're 7-4. There's a lot to be happy about on a Tuesday night.
J-Dubs, Ken Harris, Greg Martin, Robert Cohen, EO, TR, Rhett, all the folks out there hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate you. It is a great Tuesday night. We are without our main man, T. We wish him the absolute best. We hope he's here with us in spirit, and we'd like to see him on the board. We'll see if I talked to him not too long ago, but prayers and thoughts out to him. These aren't great days, and we are with our brother, and he's going to be just fine. The mini buy is such an interesting feeling. I'm sure it is for a football team, but also for a fan base. For us, we lost twice in 5 days. Let's just say it. We lost 2 times in 5 days. That's not good. It's not fun. It doesn't make for a great, fun football loving experience.
Whiskey's fun.
Whiskey is fun. This is our first Tuesday back after saying we've lost 2 in 5 days. We're not going to hide from it. That's what happened. But let's talk a little bit about that. All right. So a 1-point loss to the Steelers, followed by a road loss to one of the better teams in the NFL and the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll give them that. I like the way we match up against them, and we can talk more about that because we get another shot at them, and that's the most important thing about the Philadelphia Eagles game. I know they want it going away. We're 7-4. We have a stretch of games coming up that could potentially, if the results go as the lines go, Redskins punch their ticket to the playoffs in three weeks from now, or 3 Sundays, from now. 10 wins get you in almost, any time, even in a 17-week season. Let's not go there just quite yet. There are 3 games to play. We're going to talk just a teeny bit about that Philadelphia game. We want to talk about the state of health. Guys are practicing, guys aren't practicing, and we want to talk about the matchup that we have with the Dallas Cowboys. I believe the biggest number on the board currently at a 10-ish, 10 and a half.
10.5, although the Chiefs, because they're all chiefy and they lost last week, it looks like they're minus 11.
Okay.
Because I wanted to be the biggest spread on the board, especially after we got keystoned in the last week and a half. But that's all right. It wasn't the fun keystoning, but it lets us know exactly where we're at. I think the 4 teams that beat us were better than us that day that they beat us.
Yes, they were.
I do not believe that we coughed up any game to anyone. I believe we've beaten everyone we're supposed to beat.
Yep. And we even stole some. We stole at least one.
Of course.
If not, different.
Although the one we stole from Chicago, we outplayed them all day and then rightfully took what was ours.
Yep.
Shockingly. But
you hit a shocking fashion.
I'm just saying, we've beaten everyone we're supposed to beat, and we've lost everyone. I hate to say that we're supposed to lose. I don't know if we're supposed to.
Except for Tampa in week 1, who knows? But Tampa looks
who knows?
fine.
But when Mike Evans shows up, when they had the 2 baddest ass receivers and a dude on a $100 million deal ready to spin it, that wasn't exactly our defense's finest moment. And they had no idea what was about to hit them. That was week 4 preseason. We talked about it all day.
That's true.
Whatever. We ran into a buzzsaw. That offense was humming on week 1 and caught a sleeping defense that wasn't ready. So, and plus, we didn't come out offensively amazingly any which way. Baltimore's great. Pittsburgh's great. And Philadelphia is tough as shit, man. That's a damn good football team. And they got some young guys on the defensive side of the ball that suck because we're going to have to see them for a couple years. But they're going to have to see us too. And we're coming. We're coming.
There's the first one of the night, by the way. Ken, fresh off his job selling newspapers on the corner.
I came around the corner. I thought he was whistling. And I heard change jingling in a pocket, and I did hear extra, extra.
Extra, extra.
You definitely own that. That's definitely.
I appreciate you. I think it was J Dubs who talked about the shirt. It was. I love it. I bought it on the street on the streets around FedEx before the Pittsburgh Steelers game. It's a banger shirt. I already know for a fact that I'll buy this shirt multiple times. I believe it's a t-shirt jersey on the back, the Daniels 5. It's got everything you could ever want in a t-shirt.
It was a onesie, but he visited me at the bar Sunday evening and went back to t-shirt form, I believe.
The person who I leave this to in my will be happier than anyone else who I leave anything else to in my will.
I mean,
just so we're clear.
You would know.
Let's do this real fast. We do it every week, and we're not going to stop doing it this week. Here you go. We got the stats of the game. These are team stats. This kind of tells the tale of the tape. 434 total yards to 264. That's something. Same amount of drives. They had more yards per play. Obviously, got us in the passing, but once again, just absolutely dominated in the rushing defense, 228 to 93. I mean, you can't win games that way. Penalties, not a factor. Turnovers, in this case, was a slight factor. But here, the one that got, again, every single week you look at it, we were 27 minutes. They were 33. That's 6 minutes of negative time of possession. I mean, Kevin, the difference between what we saw in the beginning of the season and that, it's not just about going like halvesy and halvesy. We were the 7-minute leaders in possession. That's
we had the defensive fatigue.
That's 14 or 15 minutes of that's a quarter of the game that you dominate over. That's the spread. I mean, obviously, we were 7 minutes shorter than this game, but the difference between what we did against them versus what we were doing against other teams, that's 15 minutes of possession. That's a quarter of the game.
What Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Philly did better to us is complementary football. They played a better version of. They're at the level that we're trying to get to, and that's okay because, like I said, I'm not trying to say we shouldn't be competing right now, but it's gravy to me. I'm loving every week. Anyone that's out there bitching and moaning and calling this team a fraud is a joke. This team is exactly what it is right now, and it's already overachieved to get to this point. That specific way that we've been knocking the piss out of people and winning football games, coupled with our extremely talented rookie quarterback and a bunch of guys that are good signings, is the fact that we have dominated that line of scrimmage and played complementary football in the wins that we've had. When we have lost to teams, they have done it to us at a higher level because we're not there yet. We're knocking on the door, and that's okay. Holy shit, does anyone know what we were thinking about being in the offseason? Does anyone let's not forget. Let's not be those fans. And I know no one on this board and in this basement is that way. There's no panic button. This is a season of learning, of growing. And by the way, we have far outreach both of those already. Oh, yeah. So every Sunday, I'm not saying I'm out there like, hey, what? No, if there's a scoreboard, we're there to compete, and that's a fact. We're going to do that. But I don't give a shit. I'm starting to my pontificating. I just don't want to hear any more of the negativity. We got Dallas this week. Let's go get a W. Negativity. Let's figure out what we're doing here and get better at it. But right now, I'm not walking away from any of these games thinking, man, we had that. Yes, we competed. Yes, we don't have enough guns. Yes, they all do. Yes, we got 100 billion reasons why we're going to get there in the next year or two and be the teams that are looking at us going, we want to play complementary football like them, except for they also have a weapon at the quarterback spot who is now protected with a shit ton of weapons is where we're going to get. Can you imagine if Terry McLaurin had a Devontae Adams out wide?
That's right.
You know, I'm just saying. And he will. And he will in no time. And when we get our boy Lattimore out there and have the ability to be a little stickier in coverage against some of these teams that have that outside threat and those outside skill guys, we'll be all right. But right now, we're fighting our ass off to stay in these games and competing. And on any given Sunday, we can win. And such is this league. But let's stop pretending that we are like indoctrinated into the first round.
We're not
playoffs.
The Detroit Lions. We're not the Kansas City Chiefs.
We're working on it.
We're not even the Baltimore
We're certainly
Ravens.
working on it. And we have gone from wherever the hell we were to knocking on the door. And then that's leaps and bounds further than we ever imagined.
Let's talk about that for a second then. Because we can absolutely weave in. By the way, it has Robert Cohen. By the way, whenever I put up Robert Cohen, he looks like a founding father. Like with that picture, I feel like there was. I'm putting up the picture of an author of a book of somebody who's teaching us something profound.
4 and several years ago, he was also giving comments on the board, and that's what I appreciate about Robert.
He's been around. He's been around. He's been commenting for a while. All right, so the status of our organization,
very presidential.
You know, you see where you're deficient in terms of depth, especially when your offensive line is super banged up, and you just haven't built a load of talent really around, on this roster. The cool thing is, at 7-4, you can envision yourself as a 10 or 11 win team. I think that's a totally fair thing to do.
We're in a hell of a position right now,
and because of that, when we talk about because we're so far quote unquote ahead of schedule, which we can talk about what that means. Because this is seeming like it's coming a little bit early, the formulation of the organization in the offseason. If you really are a 10 or 11 win team, which I think that we can agree based on right now, who we have right now, assuming people can stay healthy and play, we should get 10 or 11 wins out of the rest of the schedule. Let's talk about that. But where do you draft? When you draft in that position, this is where the good teams stay good because they get first round picks in the bottom third of the first round. Those players are good because those organizations are good at picking players. They get those guys on ultra cheap contracts for a long play. You're talking about guards. You're talking about defensive ends. You're talking about cornerbacks. You're talking about wide receivers. You're talking about tight ends. The holes that we have organizationally right now that can be filled in the first round. One of the best 32 players in the entire draft is coming onto our team, and he's going to do it at the bottom of the first round. And there's a big difference between the bottom of the first round and the top of the first round. We saw it with the Patriots. We've seen it with the Ravens and the Steelers. These front offices who know how to get them, you're getting cheap talent, and you're getting surefire starters. We think Adam Peters is that good. We think he's capable of finding that guy, and we know it's going to be, a dynamic running back or a playmaking tight end or a lockdown corner or somebody who's going to come in right away and contribute.
There's not 5 guys on planet Earth I'd rather have making that choice than Adam Peters for the burgundy and gold.
That's why it's so great to think about being ahead. What being ahead of schedule really means is you're essentially putting extra bullets in his gun. You're giving him extra shots. You're giving a guy who may know what he's doing. Because I mean, you could say, "Hey, listen, we're gonna bring you in. We're gonna suck this year. You're gonna be drafted in the top of the draft next year." That happens to bad teams all the time. And then you just got to be like, do I take the best quarterback? The blah blah blah. Bill Belichick on an annual basis for like 15 years. By the way, Bobby Beathard as well. GMs of organizations that won every year. They got really, really good at finding guys in the top 30. I mean, how hard is that? And bring him onto your team and saying, but just absolute badass stud players. That's the beauty of being quote unquote ahead of schedule for us with Adam Peters. Besides just making the playoffs,
Adam Peters would have drafted that hat in the 7th round, and they would have turned around and been responsible for an 89 on the blue course at Congressional today.
Oh, God, you can't.
It seems like an Adam Peters scenario. And congratulations to the guy in the burgundy over there with the hat. Wore the hat all day. Played his dream course today.
You won't find. I watched
Congo Blue 89.
Watched Rory McIlroy beat it up in 2009.
We're talking about Congo Blue still, right?
Yeah, we are. That was back before the Carolyn Wozniak days or whatever.
Okay. I didn't know if you and Rory were at a freak off. I wasn't sure. It was. It's a weekly thing, Ken. I accuse you of being at a freak off. This time, Roy McIlroy got drugged into it.
That's kind of
drug into it.
The nicest thing you've ever accused me of, since you know everyone I hang out with, and mostly it's you. So the fact that you're like,
shit,
we were there together, basically, is what you're saying. Let's dip back into the Philly matchup one more time. We didn't have what it took to beat them on the road. I think that's what it came down to. I think the most important thing we started the season by doing snap counts. We started the season by doing a couple of things. That was important in the beginning of the season because we wanted to see who was
trying to figure out who the hell we were.
Who is playing?
Who was our new team? We got so many guys, but yeah, we kind of know who they are now.
Now we watch them go on the road, and we understand one thing crystal clear, and that is an NFL season tests your depth. It does it in a myriad of ways. Some teams get tested early. Some teams get tested in the middle of the season.
Some teams have the last bye week in the NFL season. Thanks so much, NFL.
It is the fact. And when Jaden Daniels, when I say he, everyone knows what I'm talking about. When Jaden Daniels got his ribs crushed in a few weeks back, the talk was: do you protect him? Do you let him sit out a week? Do you go with Marcus Mariota for a couple weeks because he's such a young guy? Blah 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 blah. We've been making the point really since before he was drafted because of who he was. Hey, he's a football player. This guy's been getting hit his whole life. That's the game of football. The game of football is you get hit, and everyone. I think people forget about that for some reason. I don't understand how they forget about it. Maybe they never wore a helmet and pads. But when you go on the field, you get hit. I mean, you're just going to get hit. The guy is a professional get hitter. and he can handle it.
20 years ago, quarterbacks were getting speared 5 seconds after the whistle, 30 yards behind the play. It's a whole different scenario for these guys. I mean, the old quarterbacks that are CTEing, limping around in parks everywhere. Like, what, really?
we're worried about this?
Are they saying, don't run him? Like, everyone's like, no, but he can't get hurt. We can't run him. I'm like,
it's
what
absolutely.
the fuck are you talking about?
Absurd.
Why do you keep saying this to my face? I can hear you. I can't. I'm looking right at you.
Meanwhile, your dad called 17 straight quarterback draws in high school, and you were like, they came into the huddle, and you're like. Maybe I left like the toilet seat up this week, or like, I don't know what's going on. We're running it again.
Again.
Hey guys, help me out a little bit. But so Jaden Daniels, he's a football player. Yeah. He can take hits. The fact that he's playing through that tells you a lot. Now it's not like, Marcus Mariota is that much of a drop off. But the cool thing about Jaden Daniels in this situation is, he's dinged up. Everyone knows it, and he's playing through it. He took a hit from T.J. Watt in the Pittsburgh Steelers game, which
in the red zone.
Yeah, and by all intents and purposes, everyone reports we heard, it made a difference. And then you want to play 4 days later against Philadelphia. He short armed some throws. He was a little less accurate. He had Noah Brown a couple times. Blah 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 blah. The guy is playing through something, and we're still coming up. We're still coming close.
And whether he's playing through something or getting over something, one or the other, however you want to word it, I think Dan Quinn was very, very. He's specifically stated today he is not injured. Well, of course, because you can be hurt. You don't have to be injured.
It's
I
like
get it.
G.I. Jane.
Let's be honest. He hasn't been that guy on with his legs, and since that injury, his percentage is about 20% lower.
Yeah,
it's
holding on to the ball a little more.
Played against two damn good defenses as well.
Some of the
all
best.
of those things contribute to this factor, and it's okay because I did not want to go through this season at 15-2 and just make it all easy with the fourth place schedule and blah blah, and then turn around next year and watch the sophomore shit. Let's get through some of this crap. Throw that pick. Get out there, make those mistakes. Have this rookie year. Let's get rid of it now. Go through the injuries. Learn how to play. Learn how to win on the road.
Which is what he's doing.
Nicked up. I get it. And we got to figure it out. And right now we know he might need a few more weapons to do this like this. Because when he's at full health, which is not injured, he's a bad son of a bitch that has to be dealt with on every inch of the field. That was not necessarily the case the last two games, and that's okay. That's okay. When we start getting guys around him and he's a pocket guy and he's learning, that's fine because he can do that. Yep. He can certainly sit in that pocket and pick you apart. So let's not say he needs those legs to be great. But part of it is also playing against two damn good defenses, learning that this NFL is a son of a bitch. You got a home game, and 4 days later, you got it on the road at Philly. Hey, good luck, rookie. You know what I'm saying? Any other rookie, we'd be saying, oh, it's okay. He's winning to Philly. No. This guy's got a whole new cape.
He didn't cost us the game. He played well enough for us to win.
But now this new fan's saying, well, wait a minute. 3 weeks ago, he's throwing Hail Marys, and now look, Jesus Christ, like this come hither fan. I don't care about those guys. That's not what I want to talk about here. He is going to go through all of the ups and downs of a rookie. Yep. No one can avoid it. What he's done so far is tremendously awesome, and I love it. But I don't mind him dealing with it. Like, we know this is going to happen with a rookie quarterback. Let's let him see these defenses. This is how you learn. This is how you get better. And by the way everyone rallied around Jerzon Newton is the way they're saying, hey, 2 games right now. Johnny Newton 2 weeks ago, no one's thought about it yet because this is what builds the bonds even tighter. When everything's going great, because everything has been going great. Even the losses were like, wow, we played pretty good, blah, blah, blah.
28-27.
F all this. We lost 2 in a row. Let's see how this galvanizes this locker room full of these badass leaders that we've surrounded and put in there on purpose. It's freaking Dallas week. We're favored by 10.5 points over these turds.
At home.
And it's going to be a freaking great day to be in the stadium. I wish I was going to be there, but let's just do this real quick. Let's take a look at the big picture and embrace the shit out of these guys because all Dan Quinn talked about this whole week since the 2 losses is packing those stands for this game. So
the Cowboys and Titans game, you go home right away after being on the road for the Eagles, but you go home after the mini bye, so the 10 days off.
God, we needed that mini bye.
And Of course, I was at the Steelers game. There was a lot of Steelers fans there. I was at the Bears game. A decent amount of Bears fans there, but
I think Megan Meringolo is calling for a mini buy.
she's been calling for a maxi buy for quite some time.
That was not what we were looking for.
she's like, is there such thing as a maxi buy? Because the mini buy.
No, the only thing worse than saying it once is saying it twice. Oh, maxi buy.
You do so much goodness at home at the beginning of the season, and you get 2 weeks around Thanksgiving. This is why I love this. It's a newfound ability to win at home with 2 home games sandwiched around Thanksgiving. And by the way, teams that we should beat, both the Cowboys and the Titans. There's a way to approach this, and the cool thing about it is I have such supreme confidence in the manner because this is different. You know, this is you get out, you're off now. You're off your schedule because the NFL is all about routine. You play on Sunday, you do this on Monday. This is you off on Tuesday, film on Tuesday. You in for Wednesday. So once you're playing on Thursday night, it throws everything off. But really, you kind of look at it and you think about it. Actually, if you look back to the beginning of the season, they did this coming out of Cincinnati, and they were like, hey, we're going to change our schedule. We're going to go to Arizona. We're going to do our whole thing. So I think this is
Thanks, new owner.
Thanks, new owner. So I think this is an opportunity once again. I think we're going to hear stories about how the approach to this 10-day break between games followed by another home game, I think this is going to be another scenario where our smarter guys, win the day because 10.5 points. I'm just gonna say I hope we win by that much, and I think we're better than them. But like let's all just be real for a second. Like this is, I mean, we're still mixing it up on a Sunday afternoon with the Dallas Cowboys, in a division game with CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons, and there's some real dudes out there, and you can't just be like, oh yeah, we're favored by 10.
They got some weapons that you got. Listen, Dowdell's been running the rock. CeeDee Lamb's always a problem, and what's his face? The return guy that just house called that last night. He ran the fastest time measured in the NFL this year. So I don't want to remember his name because I don't care to call them.
Who
by
cares?
name.
I'm not going to say
Dallas
his name either.
week. Don't care. But of course they have weapons out there still. Micah Parsons, another one back on defense. I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence coming back, from what I understand, or possibly coming back. Although everyone thinks it's for an audition for us for
DeMarcus Lawrence
next year.
I think Micah Parsons is the far more likely player to play for us.
I know, but he's in Dallas again next year. Already been decided. Unless they want to somehow make a trade happen. But with Micah Parsons, that's going to cost some serious draft value.
Yep.
There's no way that's happening.
If he's as good as he is,
he's in his 5th year next year for them.
Yep.
They're saying Lawrence, who's another Dan Quinn guy, and he's another edge guy, and coupled with a couple other guys, and he's not going to get the big mega Micah deal.
Yep.
Might be a guy.
You know what? As much as I love Micah Parsons, and we all do, and I do believe that he'll be on this team eventually. If we're good enough,
he's going to get a $4 billion contract.
Yes. So my belief about Micah Parsons, so he's a Dallas Cowboy next year for the 5th year. I think if he's as good as
that's been established.
Let's just assume
they can trade him, but
let's just assume he's a stud. He remains the Pro Bowler / potential All Pro player as he is, and they decide to franchise him that year because you have to. You can't because he's worth $20 million or whatever it is. So that's the next 2 years he's locked up in Dallas. If he stays healthy for the next 2 years and becomes a free agent, I think it becomes prohibitive to franchise him twice. And then if we're good enough to still have Dan Quinn as our coach, he's our guy. So I'm saying 3 years is when Micah's on our team.
So when we're about to re-sign number 5 to a lifetime monstrosity of a deal for 80 bazillion everything's. I mean, there's going to be euros involved. There's going to be reals, hayas, rubles,
dinars,
whatever, all of it. And then we're going to go out and just get Micah too. Be like, well, we're going to do that too.
A few shekels. I do believe, but again, that's planning. That's like
right.
You plan for that.
Let's not talk about the Cowboys anymore. I feel sick to my stomach.
Well,
I do like it, and this is a very good point that has to be
how about
brought
I talk about this about the Cowboys? Watching them last night, it looked like CeeDee Lamb was checked. Looked like he was like, yeah, I'm going to run routes. I love to get yards. I want to get catches. I still want to be good in the eyes of people. But after every play, he looked like the guy who you're like, oh God, I can't believe I don't like.
He
that
wants
look.
everyone to know Cooper Rush is not Dak, and Dak is it's so receiver of him. but he is still pretty nasty, and he can do work. He can make a few plays. He could hurt us. I don't know about how badly, because I don't know. Last night that Houston defense just did not look great.
No,
something's off with Houston, and they still rolled eventually. I mean,
so that's what the thing about it is. I mean, our whole lives we've watched this game, not really being dependent on who is terrible or good before the game starts. So this is like, so we've already played the Giants. By the way, we played the Giants twice. Thank God. So we go into our our fourth NFC East game
with their superstar against us. By the way, now he's benched.
Yes.
Now they're going to Tommy D.
That's what I'm saying.
Why can't we get Tommy D?
No, we got Tommy D before, and he beat our ass. I'm saying this is the Giants. The Giants literally have just
old Tommy D.
Tommy DeVito is about to cost them another number 2.
I hope so.
He's going to cost them 1 or 2 draft spots.
I hope so.
Because he's going to just.
How about F New York professional football? Oh. All you turds with all your stadium.
Tommy DeVito
all your stuff.
He got us. That's why I'm so happy. I'm like, okay, we played the Giants twice.
Daniel Jones has got in us.
Yes. He has.
Got in, not got in. Got in.
I mean, the fact that when they named Tommy.
So depressing.
By the way, just to talk
I'm still happy. I'm so happy.
Dysfunctionality in our own division. The New York Giants, who brought in Drew Lock for $5 million. They're paying him $5 million, and he would almost certainly be the more talented backup to go to. Because the reason why they're benching Daniel Jones is very simple. They're just protecting guaranteed money in 2025. This guy's gone. This is what they did with Russell Wilson last year. It's the new way of the NFL. Hey, you're not going to risk an injury guarantee on a quarterback, especially a running quarterback who easily could get hurt any given time. So anyways, they're going to go to Drew Lock or they're going to go to Tommy DeVito. Drew Lock is getting $5 million, but all the incentives, I looked at the incentives today for Drew Lock. They're not hard incentives. It's like a 90 quarterback rating.
It was like a windsock of incentives.
Oh, it was like a little bit of a
soft ass flubber of incentives.
And they're going to cheap out, and but it's also they believe, as I think we would probably agree, that Tommy DeVito gives them the best chance to draft the highest.
Yes. Just take some risks out there. Yes. Show some balls, Tommy D.
Go after
forget about it.
But the problem is, and because nothing good happens to the New York Giants, at this point in time of their story, and like the soap opera of the NFL, like right now they're the character that just like everything bad happens to. Like Tommy DeVito is about to win some games. He's about to throw for like 300 yards. He's about to run for some touchdowns. It's going to be stupid, and it's going to be all about this. And so we missed that. So he's going to cost them some spots. You get to the fourth game in the NFC East for us against the Dallas Cowboys. It's very cool for the Washington players who, this is to me when you talk about is this must win for a variety of reasons. Let's
only because it's Dallas.
It's only because it's Dallas. 10 days
Dallas
to get ready.
Is must win. I think we all agree on that shit.
For the Dallas Cowboys at home. We got to win this game.
It's his own season within the season. This is Dan Quinn's first. Jaden Daniels' first. The real first for the fans. The first game of this freaking badass rivalry where all of a sudden it looks like the blue-collar guys are about to show back up, ready to go to work with their hard hats and lunch pails, and the fancy boys from Texas doing the same old shit they've been doing for 30 years. So I love the way this is scoping out. How it looks from a perspective of ours is, let's get these guys in here. Let's beat the shit out of them and celebrate here and go 8-4 and get ourselves back right in the conference and in the division, which it's a huge game. This is a double dipper once again. And like Ken Harris mentioned, Philly's got some shit in front of them. They got to take care of.
On the screen. Eagles, yes. The Eagles still have to play the Ravens.
Last week I knew they had some badass teams on their schedule, but I was a little. I came off the IR late last week.
When you talk about games in hand, which is mostly a baseball and hockey statement for scheduling because there's so many games, we have the Ravens and Steelers already in hand because we played them already. I mean, those are two hard outs. Even if they win one of those games, we still have a chance. We get them at home in late December in a game that should be meaningful. And hey, listen, it's going to come down to who's playing and who's healthy. But I think that the cool thing, to tie a little neat bow on the Jane Daniels injury story, he's playing through it because it's the kind of injury that, yes, it can get re-aggravated, but it will heal. I mean, it's a football injury, and you can play through it.
It's the kind of injury where everyone in the locker room knows, he's all right, but I hope he's all right.
Yeah.
And he is, first of all the guy does is gain respect on a daily basis in this area, in this region, within that locker room and everywhere else that he shows up at. Shout out Wale. I mean, the guy he's just everything that everyone wants. And by the way, he steps back and just records instead of being the front and center guy, because that's who he is. I just love this guy and what he's doing right now. He's gaining so much respect. We're building so much this year. Let's not that get in the way of us wanting to win every single weekend, which is fine. We're starving for it. We deserve it. But big picture, let's just keep that in mind. Also, forget about all the shit I just said in the last 4 sentences when it comes to this week at 1 o'clock. It's done. It's finished. It's just Dallas.
Yep.
And it'd be inexcusable this week. This is different than any other week. We're the better team. We're favored by 10. I imagine Dan Quinn and Joe Witt and Cliff Kingsbury understand that it's time to win by 30 and have this place really rocking and celebrating in the second half while we're beating that ass.
Which we've done already this year.
I know, but
Multiple times.
not against a team with a star on the side. And that would be some sweet ass shit for everyone in that stadium. And that's when it just gets electric again. And we understand losing 2. A lot of people around here are freaking out. I don't give a shit. I don't want to lose 2, but I don't give a shit. 7-4 sounds good. 8-4 sounds even better with a win over the freaking Cowboys.
The cool thing about
3-1 in division.
When we were 7-2, and I believe the Lions were 7-1 because I think they may have had their bye week already, and of course they are the class of the NFC. But a couple weeks back, we're right there. We're like a half game, 1 game off the Detroit Lions, and we said on the show, "Hey, listen, yeah, we want to win the division, but right now we're cruising towards a playoff contention spot, but why shouldn't our sights be set on being the best in the NFC and getting that number 1 seed?" Now, obviously. Things are going to happen here. People are going to have to start challenging the Detroit Lions in ways the Jacksonville Jaguars did not for the NFC East number 1 seed to ever become available. But with the Cowboys and the Titans next and the Saints after that, 3 teams which we will be favored in all of those games, we're right back in the discussion. I mean, at that point in time, you're talking about a 10-4 team that is potentially one of the best teams in the NFC. So the cool thing about where we sit is the business at hand. I mean, we've had scenarios where we've been ready to make a leap, and then the buzzsaw is sitting right there. The Steelers in 2007. Obviously, some of the teams that knocked us off our mantle. In the post Joe Gibbs second tour years when the season became over in week 10, week 11. This is a 3-week period where we are better than the teams we're playing. And being better than those 3 teams means making the playoffs. Being 3-0 over the next 3 weeks, that's a tough ask. That's a tough hill to climb. We just lost 2 in a row. We understand winning 1 week in a row is tough in the NFL. 3 weeks in a row is a tall order. But if we are who we think we are, we're 10-4 in 3 weeks because the next 3 teams are shitty. And if that's the kind of team that we are, then all of a sudden I think we do move back into pole position against the Lions because of Ken Harris's point. I believe it was Ken Harris who talked about the Eagles having to play the Steelers and Ravens.
Getting a win over a team that we're not supposed to beat. There's not many of those left on the schedule, I don't think, to be honest.
It depends how good the Falcons are the rest of the way.
Philly at home will be favored. That will be the one time I believe that I can guarantee you we will be the underdog. Philly will be favored. Sorry if I said that wrong. We will be the underdog at home against the Eagles, and it would be amazing for us to get a win over someone that we're supposed to beat. Yeah, of course, and obviously, but we keep on churning out games and beating teams we're supposed to beat. When let's be freaking fair, we weren't supposed to beat anyone this year. We're supposed to.
No.
Like, who are we supposed?
We weren't supposed to beat the Bengals. We weren't supposed to beat the Cardinals. We weren't supposed to beat the Bears. We probably were supposed to beat the Panthers. We're not supposed to beat the Bucks. And probably we're definitely not supposed to beat the Steelers or Eagles. The cool thing about what Jaden Daniels has in front of him. The couple of the Cowboys defense is not nearly as good as the Eagles defense, and so
Shit, no, the Cowboys defense is putrid. But
if I want to get him back to throwing quickly, which he was doing at the beginning of the season. He did not. The last 2 weeks, he did not throw quickly for a variety of reasons. He was running for his life.
Defensive athleticism, speed,
Patrick
and
Queen,
coordinators,
TJ Watt,
and coaching, and badasses across.
Yeah.
So that's the frustration everyone's worried about. This is how you get better. These are the types of defenses, maybe not specific to these exact teams, but I believe it is, that you have got to perform against in crunch time in the postseason and playoffs. And this is the level, the bar set for an NFL quarterback. This is what the buzzsaw James Daniels ran into. And by the way, I thought he performed fine. I don't think he cowered down. I don't think he played fantastic, but I think he certainly got better and saw some shit. Listen, you got Terry McLaurin, you got a safety sitting on high, and I'm watching the switch, and they did it at least 3 times, and they did it on short yardage, and they did it in big play time. The safety's sitting, and the corner are switching. The safety's barreling downhill and just taking away slant at the snap of the ball while the corner is replacing to the fade. So the slant fade game to Terry, Jaden's coming off of it right away. You're seeing it right away. And that's what happened all day long. It's the same thing Todd Bowles did, similar but different. Yep. Playing all these games with an over-the-top safety, disguising it over the top towards the McLaurin side.
And Jim Schwartz, was it Jim Schwartz in Cleveland?
They know.
Same thing.
These guys know if you take Terry McLaurin away, who's their guy in the passing game?
Or
Zach Ertz running a 5.140, even though I love him to death. No, I love him. He is a post-up power forward in his 17th year in the NBA, still getting 20 a night. He just does it differently. And I love it, but if you take away Terry McLaurin, now we're fucked. And Noah Brown, I really like all these guys, but we got like 3 2s and Zach Ertz and our guys out of the backfield. So it has to be spread across.
Noah a couple times, unfortunately.
I know,
but again, he's hurt.
But
a guy with hurt ribs is trying to get the ball out in less time than he has. That's what happens.
And I'm not making any excuse for him. He's also a rookie quarterback playing against a badass defense on the road in Philly. Toughest spot he was going to play on the road in all goddamn season. We knew that before preseason started.
Yep.
So let's all gather our wits about us and understand that we got a hell of a lot better these last 2 games, even though we lost. And that's what this whole year is about. I want to make the shit out of the playoffs. It'd be heartbreaking if we did not. I get that. I want to win every time we show up. But right now, this season's given us more than that. There's more to look forward to in the big picture. And watching us get better every week, I don't get nervous anymore. I get excited. I want to see us in these tough spots and see how and I've been chuckling all year. And when we went for it instead of kicking the field goal, I had to remind a few folks, we were 11-11 at this, and no one said a damn thing. You didn't hear anyone say, we never should have done that. We should have kicked a field goal, even though we scored the touchdown. So it's very easy to pounce on that call, and I get it. Everyone's got an opinion. I'll go with 11 out of 12 all year long.
I want to know who Dave, Eagles Champ 34, on the board. First time I've seen him, I always try to make an effort to welcome folks.
Yeah, so the Eagles do have the number 1 defense, and it showed.
But I want to ask that guy who's logging into our show. I don't know. I post the game. As an Eagles fan, what was the one thing you saw? And if you can put it in the comments, we'll put it on the screen. One thing you saw as an Eagles fan that you haven't seen from a Washington team in quite some time. Let me know what you think, because obviously you were in control of this game. You probably felt good about it as an Eagles fan. You're watching this game. We scored late to close the gap. I get it. But as an Eagles fan, you saw some things. We showed you some things. We missed some third down throws. We missed some balls. Eagles champ, give me something positive as an Eagles fan that you saw about our team, and let's use that to transition to this latter half of the season. We talked about dividing this season up into sections. We're 11 weeks in. 6 weeks left. I've divided the remaining season into 2 sections of 3.
Got it.
2 games of 3. We have a 3-week period, Cowboys, Titans, Saints, and then a 3-week period, Eagles, Falcons, Cowboys. So I say you got to go 2-1, 2-1. I think that's I think that's a reasonable expectation.
11 cements a playoff and possible division champion.
Correct.
I think 11 cements a playoff and it's a possible division champion.
And I'm not worried about traveling to,
don't give a shit.
Somewhere. Yeah, who cares?
This is all gravy. A playoff appearance. I said we're going to host one. I still think we have a 50-50 shot at it. I really do. And I said San Fran. I'm sticking with it. A lot has to happen, but guess what? This is the time to make it happen. If we won both those games, can you imagine the hype train right now? And by the way, if we did, it would be like, holy shit, we're great. I didn't think
we're not great. Yeah, we're not
right. I loved how good we were. I love that we're good playing great.
Check out this comment from Ken Harris. All that said, we have to fix our Saquon problem. Now, I see that as two things. I see that statement meaning two things to me. On one hand, I see that meaning we have to figure out a way to defend Saquon Barkley, for a team that actually knows how to use him out of no, because New York did. And on the other hand, I see that as I love Austin Eckler and I love B-Rob, but that dynamic running back, the Jahmyr Gibbs,
there's like three of them, dude.
There's not that many.
No, there's three. We can't fix that problem with a new guy.
Fix that problem.
Hey, let's just get Saquon Barkley Jr.
We've got to fix that, Kev. We're gonna fix that by getting that guy. Because here's why. Okay, hear me out.
Unless there's a laboratory over there that you've been cryogenically. Is Walter Payton? I tried to say it the right way. Don't come at me with this ridiculous shit.
I understand.
Shit.
I'm saying
you got Walter Payton DNA in the closet, obviously, because we can fix a Saquon. We got to fight fire with fire. Where the fuck you're gonna get a backwards jump being ninja?
You got to be. You got to.
Who only plays for divisional foes?
Who only plays for people that we play twice a year?
My name is Bruce, and I will never play in Washington. Only against teams that play against them twice.
If I can somehow play my whole career,
this son of a bitch ninja Gadened everything and jumped backwards and continued to go forward. He's a glitch from a freaking. And we're gonna fix that problem by getting a Saquon.
We're not going to get a Saquon because we're not going to draft high enough to get a Saquon. But what I will say is the cool thing about being 11-5 or 6, whatever, 11-6, is you draft in the bottom of the first round, and invariably one of the top 2 or 3 running backs is sitting on the board in the bottom of the first round. Now you don't always take him there. I understand that, but this particular guy and his guys, they believe. Running backs and tight ends, I agree. You go get because you want them in their first 4 years of their pro career. You want running backs from 23 to 26. You want tight ends from 23 to 26. Both of those positions are getting their asses beat up to piss every single play. You don't want them at 28. You want to get them on their first contract. So if there's a guy like that, we'll get him. And I do give him credit. The Eagles fan posted, and I told him I'd put him on the screen, and he's on the screen. One thing I saw was Jaden Daniels gives you an advantage to keep linebackers on their heels, and B-Rob takes pressure off your quarterback. I think that's fair. Those are two. And by the way,
I truthfully respect that answer from a Philly fan there. I thought he was going to come back with like a picture that would have been with you and something. No, that's great because it's true. And your number one defense kind of kicked our ass, and that's why you guys won. And shit. We don't argue that.
I didn't expect to see.
We're not homers down here.
5'3" Bond. Was it Bond? The linebacker who was just everywhere.
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
Although our number 4 was everywhere. Frankie Louvu was all over the goddamn place. I know, I love him dearly. But Ashton Jaunty, you're talking about, they got going 11th right now, Ken. The Boise State guy's setting all kinds of records, and he's doing it against some big-time competition as well. They're not playing like Boise State South anymore. Sure. They're playing a real-life schedule, and this guy's for real.
Nakobe Dean, by the way, looked taller than he did.
He's the only one I see right now that I thought could be in that slot. But
Nakobe Dean, I didn't know. I thought he was shorter. When I saw him on the screen for the Thursday night game, I was like, wait, I didn't know Nakobe Dean was that tall. I was convinced. I was brainwashed into believing he was like a 5'2" linebacker.
Where did this brainwashing occur? Why is no one brainwashing me about Nakobe Dean? By the way, who the fudge is Nakobe Dean?
Somebody was brainwashing me about Nakobe Dean. And I
is this the time when I blame T for something?
Yes. This is the time you bring
T. If you're listening, you never should have told Ken about Nakobe Dean.
Why did you do that, T?
Jesus,
Must have been the meds. All right, so
By the way, if we're all talking about Nakobe Dean, we're like, I never knew he was so tall.
I thought he was short as shit. I thought he was like this tall,
Right.
and then all of a sudden I was like, wait a second, he looks taller than I remember.
Good job, Nakobe. You really stretched out for
He
old
really
Meringolo.
grew. He grew like the Grinch, like his heart in Christmas Day. I want to see Jaden Daniels look a little healthier with a quicker throw. I want to see Brian Robinson run a little bit more than he did this past week. I want to see him come back from that. More than anything else, I would love to hear stories about the health of our offensive line.
Well, with 10 days, I don't think our 3 best tackles should be. We should be biting our fingernails minutes before the injury list comes out.
That's right. Yes,
because we were like,
that was like 4 days. I had no idea he was playing for us.
I know. I was like,
I thought you were going to get a call. I thought they were going to call you up. Hey, we need you. We need you here.
We're gonna need someone to fill up the balls at halftime.
But then I was gonna be like, I think you were watching our show like 2 years ago. You should watch it now. He's not the guy you want. The guy you want was
5 years ago.
The guy you want from 5 years ago.
I know the guy we want this Sunday is the guy we're getting.
That's right,
Sir Greg Olson.
Oh, by the way, yeah, that's
Sir Greg is coming to do the game.
How great is that?
It's so great. I can't understate this.
Because for a Cowboys game,
I'm thrilled.
I don't want Moose.
I just
we might get Moose. I don't want Troy. I don't want any. I'm okay with.
Okay.
I love Romo.
I love Greg Olson.
I want Greg Olson.
I don't hate some of these guys. Like Romo said, he knows his shit better than anyone. I hate how he
Olson's
presents it.
The best analyst
Greg
on CBS.
Olson makes me so happy
CBS,
when he does everyone else's
I think
games.
it's Fox.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just know I love Greg Olson.
Because they don't call him the A because Tom Brady took his spot.
Fox. Yes, it's Fox.
Because Greg Olson was their A+ dude, and
I
then
will take Olson over Brady 1,000% of the time.
1,000,000%. By the way,
Brady will get
according to Greg Martin,
he'll be fine. But
this is a little bit of a scoop. The Greg Martin provided me this week, and I'm going to credit him with his information as it came from a tabloid rag, I'm sure. But that Tom Brady is allegedly trying to get the network to buy him out of his contract at the same amount of money that he used to buy into the Raiders organization, and that he is not happy at all doing TV.
That's fine. He's so much better at like hands-on, like and he's fantastic, of course. But why would he want to do why does he care about this?
I think basically he played for so long and he was so much play, and then he was like, now what do I do? Oh, I guess I do TV now.
And by the way, he's fantastic at knowing everything that he can say, and he just doesn't really know how to convey it to, I guess, the everyday fan, and he struggles with that. But I love him talking. I love that he's a possibility. I don't dislike Tom Brady. I'm not Mr. Tom Brady either, but he could be fine doing this. He could be really good, but why would he want to?
He's not good.
And let a guy like Greg Olson do it, who's just way more like, I don't know.
I think he's the third guy on an old school Monday Night Football
it's fine.
telecast.
It's fine.
When you have Al Michaels and Howard Cosell.
He's earned the right in football to have this. I am not ever, I'm just saying, he just, in his rookie years, been a struggle.
You know me. I love a 3-man booth. I think a 3-man booth done the right way is the best booth.
Sure.
Because so more than often than not, you get Greg Olson lined up with someone, and I hear him correcting his play-by-play guy more often than not because he actually knows what he's talking about. So I think Greg Olson deserves. It sucks that he got booted for Tom Brady because he's better than Tom Brady. But you also understand why.
I get it. And by the way, that's not how it works.
I understand. I understand.
We all understand that.
Yes.
And by the way, once again, like Tony Romo is fantastic at understanding NFL offense. It's great, and I do
knows
appreciate
what's happening.
that.
He's reading it online.
He just gets a little too schmarmy for me, and it's a little much. That's it. I'm not like, I don't hate it. They just talk so much. Sometimes I like the pause right before the 3rd and 9 play. Not the conversation that leads up into the second step of the 3-step drop. That kills me. We know that at the high school level. Once everyone's set, like once that play, like they're done looking to the side, shut the hell up.
That's right.
Shut the hell up. Let football be football. No one came to listen to
I
us.
want to see.
They came to watch the damn game, and we're there to just accentuate that, not be the
You know what?
fact.
You know what else I didn't appreciate, and I'm trying to think of where I saw it. Was it Amazon that was doing like the little bullseye thing on the player that they like the line the hot the mic and the hot linebacker or whatever? Didn't they put like the little like radar on these players on the defensive side of the ball beforehand?
Perhaps.
I don't like that.
I didn't see it.
I hate it.
I'm not sure if it was a dream of yours.
Was I dreaming it? Please tell me if I was dreaming that. I feel like I was watching the game on Thursday night and they were putting like these little bullet radar things on the screen.
Maybe it's your Vision Quest cap, and every time you put it on, it does because you do
Or
know.
you know what? Maybe I didn't have it on at the time. I tell you, I need to start wearing it more often.
Well, the weird doctor in there with Walter Payton always has those crazy things he hands you, and this seems to be the one that works.
Hey,
for an
I
89.
just think that I should be like the kind of guy that's like, no matter what's happening, I just like pop a Coca-Cola and like, here, give the kid this. This Coca-Cola will save you.
Coca-Cola?
And an old school Coca-Cola will save you.
It was Coke was the whole thing. They're like, have a Coke.
No, I'm telling you, like from Field of Dreams.
Like 1920? Extra.
No, Doc do you remember Doc Hollywood with Michael J. Fox?
Sure.
And he tried to like open up a kid's innards to fix him.
Is this a Pepsi-free joke?
And then Doc was like, just give him a little Coca-Cola.
I don't remember movies to save my ass.
All right. But what's her face's boobs were in it? It was pretty great. Can't remember. Julie something or others. I respect her as an actress.
What's her face?
She was a great actress. Julie. She was Julie. I loved her. She was great. I thought she was shortchanged at the Oscars.
Anyone that has any other comments about Ken's hat, please feel free. I said nothing about it because I like it. It looks like a good hat for a Sicilian.
I'm Calabrese.
And I'm also Sicilian and Irish. But they don't make hats like that fit my noggin. So they do have one, but my dad got it.
He got it first?
Yeah.
That's a family heirloom. That's what we call a family heirloom.
Yeah, I know. And he told me I could have it someday, but I don't really like the way it smells anymore.
It's gonna need a priest. You need a priest weigh some stuff over that.
Was it Julia Roberts? No, we wouldn't have seen her boobs.
No, not
She's
in Doc
not
Hollywood. It was Julie.
She's not flashing them.
It was. I can't remember. I mean, she was in other stuff, but she did come out of the lake.
I didn't want to
topless, and Michael J. Fox is standing on the shore, and he's got that big quilt wrapped over him, and he's standing there, and she's like, "You can blink now." It's a famous scene, and her boobs were amazing. It was Julie. Ken, all right, here we go. Here's what we go. I don't know why I'm giving him this power. Ken, if I toss you a quarter, will you go get the largest Christmas goose at the market? Yes, I will. You did not miss this day.
Oh, kid, it's $20 to never see that guy ever
again. What's the final score of this game? Let's start talking about the final score of the Washington-Dallas Week 12 game. What do we got? Anybody want? You guys lead us off.
Yeah, get in there. Everyone, take a stab at this one because I think we're pissed. I think we're going to be rocking at home, and I think we're going to be as healthy as we've been. Well, we have to be as healthy as we've been. And man, this Dallas team seems that we all sniff out dysfunctional, correct?
It was Julie Warner, everybody.
Yeah, they warnered it up.
Did they? Okay. I was worried they weren't getting it.
I have no idea who that is.
It's Julie Warner.
Son of a bugger.
She's a very gifted actress with great boobs. But that's good. That's a good thing.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
No, it's good for Julia Warner.
Yeah, it's Julie Warner.
Sorry.
All right, 34-9, 30-13. These are people who think we are more than 10 points better than the Dallas Cowboys. I also think we're more than 10 points better than the Dallas Cowboys. The Eagles fan asked the question. He's like, is 10 points? It's a
fair question.
Yeah.
But if you've watched them, and we watched them, like even when they came out of the gates looking good, completing a few passes, getting a few first downs, inevitably they crap on themselves. And we understand dysfunction, like I just said. And we know what's going on here. They're running fake field goals with like a spy. Fake punts with a spy. Like they're doing stupid shit. They put the ball on the ground. They throw interceptions. They're just dumb.
They're checking out also.
They are. And they are checked.
A little bit at a time.
Now, this game, they have the ability to make some plays. They still got some guys out there that are a bit dangerous, but I don't give a shit. Over the 4 quarters, Dan Quinn just being there, trying to convince some of these guys that he might have coached. Sorry, I say DeMarcus Lawrence again, but whatever, whoever it may be, we are going to put our best foot forward coming off of a 10-day double law. I think this is when we show, just like the last time we had a little break in the action, and our incredible owner did not make us fly across country twice, spent the money to make sure, and it galvanized our team. I think 2 losses galvanizes us heading into this Dallas game. Dude, 41 to 16 doesn't surprise me.
Okay. I like that because I think that is a fair.
Could be 21-13 at halftime, but 41 to 16. It's going to get out of hand eventually.
I think the key to playing a team like this in Week 12, and let's be honest, we should know this because we've been the other team in this Week 12 game multiple times. The key to playing this team in Week 12 is to get them down early, get on top of them early, make them make mistakes early, get points on them early. These CeeDee Lamb and some of these guys, they have no interest in risking their lives to come back in a game when you're this far back in the season. They're not trying to be the biggest comeback story of the season. If they magically get out ahead and stupid shit happens and turnovers and muffs and this and that happens that causes them to be in it.
Now there's muffs involved?
Yes.
All right.
If muffs are involved and they believe they have a chance, then sure, you're going to ignite that part of a football player who's going to play 4 quarters. But if you get on top of these guys right away, they're going to fold. And that's why I think 45 to 17 is the answer.
I'm just saying, the second time Cooper Rush misses CeeDee Lamb, who is barely open, and he goes into his antics, it's on. This is what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
He'll miss a few series. He'll come back, have a 30-yard catch, miss a catch. They're in the dysfunctional part of all of it. I don't care who they're getting back. All these guys are trying out there. They don't want to look bad on film, but they are certainly not playing for each other. They are not hungry. And aside from the rivalry, which it's a big deal, but when half the rivalry guys were coaching your ass last year, it's a little bit different. And now they're having success and you're shit in the bed. This is tough. This is a tough spot to be in if you're a Dallas Cowboy. And I mean, where do you see it? It'll be more loving and hugs from the defensive side of the starred helmet guys onto our sidelines than we've ever seen before in the history of this rivalry. And
Joe Witt knows how to attack this Dallas offensive line. Now they're old. Let's give them their credit. Like Zach Martin's going to the Hall of Fame, probably going to the Hall of Fame. He's an all-time great. He's been doing great things. But he's 35 years old or 35 years old. Joe Witt knows how to attack Zach Martin. Joe Witt knows how to make sure Zach Martin's not a factor. Joe Witt knows where the tendency is, like where do they want to run on 3rd and 6 and long and more. What side of the field are they looking to work on 3rd and on 2nd and 8? What are their tendencies? Like these are things we know.
What annoys CeeDee Lamb? St. Risto, go up there and tell him.
I'm telling you, like that's why you have to get on top of the Cowboys early, because you need to beat down CeeDee Lamb's psychology. Because if CeeDee Lamb's in this game in the 3rd or 4th quarter, I mean, you just can't have players that good with a chance to win the game. He wants to be on SportsCenter. But if you're up 20 to 10 in the 2nd quarter, CeeDee Lamb, all of a sudden, that 10-yard out, it's not as crisp.
Nah, 10-yard out. He ain't running that like it's not. Come on, man. 10-yard out. Someone else running a 10-yard out. I'm wide open, baby. And by the way, I don't know if he's a competitive badass.
Sure.
But you know how the receivers, non-McLaurins, act? Like, these guys need it. I think the Philly guys are not divas either. I think they got that thing going. Jalen Hurts certainly helps. If you have a quarterback who's healthy, who runs the show, Dak's out, and you see CD all of a sudden is very vociferous. He's way less of that guy with Dak in there, although he is CeeDee Lamb, and he is that guy that Jerry Jones wanted. So
this is why when Jalen Hurts came out of Oklahoma and the Eagles got him so late, in terms of, so many players went ahead of him. We talked about it then. I mean, obviously, You know that I was a huge Jalen guy,
And
but
I said I hated that they got him.
hated that you
I
hated.
hated because he's a culture guy and he's a leader and he's a badass.
Such a
and
good.
I hated that.
By the way, when healthy, what he did. Now, obviously, he's built differently than Jaden, but what Jaden can do that he does when he got the open field. When Jalen Hurts gets you in the open field, like you look at him and you see, super thick, and you're like, yeah, that guy's luscious and thick, and you're like,
no. You had me agreeing on super thick.
I'm just repeating.
The fuck is luscious?
I'm just
all
repeating
about?
what T said.
T.
You said luscious and thick.
Don't say that anymore.
But he's so fast, and he puts the.
He's a badass.
When he accelerates, it's like football is a 10-yard game, and he has the physical ability to accelerate to 7 or 8 yards before you can get there. I'm talking about a long 7.
Football is a game of fight.
We have a guy like Jay. We don't have a guy built like Hurts in terms of lusciousness and thickness, according to T. But we have a guy who can get 8 yards at will as Derek Elphick enters the soundstage. What is up?
Well, speaking of luscious and thick,
what's the final score of the Redskins-Cowboys game on Sunday? You're late to the show, but what do you got?
I got
nailed it. 42-10.
Skins, 42-10 Skins. That's from a New York Giants fan who is ready for the Tommy DeVito era to get back underway. By the way, a shout out to our board. We appreciate you guys.
Ken Harris he has luscious and thick questions. I think that hat on your head is luscious and thick.
Sorry, dude. That's Bishop McNamara. We tell a story. We paint a picture with our words. We paint a picture with our words out of on Old Marlboro Pike.
When you're not looking, I'm throwing that luscious brush in the trash can.
I mean, you go to Forestville, you learn how to tell.
No one in Forestville is representing luscious right now. You are a man on an island, Forestville Island.
I've been described as luscious and thick on more than one occasion in this exact same basement.
I can't even.
It's a fact. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We want to send a shout out once again to our main man T, who hopefully will be back with us not only next Tuesday, but as a programming note to folks who are watching us at this point in time, and we appreciate you guys being with us. We'll be on the scene on Friday night at PG Sports and Learning Complex for the Metro Conference Finals between Paul VI and St. Mary's Ricca. That'll be the championship on Friday night. On Sunday night at the Naval Academy home stadium at Marine Memorial on Taylor Avenue, just a stone's throw away from the city dock. We have the DeMatha Stags and the Good Counsel Falcons for the second year in a row. Hopefully, better weather. It looks like it will be. So that's two awesome high school football games that we'll be calling on Friday and Sunday night. The WCAC is offering those games on the WCAC network. Please follow us on Twitter, Plead the First CEO, and you'll get the login information if you guys are at all interested in watching these games. By the way, we appreciate your support. The league appreciates your support. Most games we do are streamed for free. These championship games are streamed behind a paywall, and the money goes to support the WCAC. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. Appreciate you guys hanging out on a Tuesday night. I mean, it's a mini bye, so we know people are out of town. They're probably on cruises, out of pocket. Really, I mean, they're scattered. It's like Armageddon. You're trying to find people on the planes and in casinos and God knows where. We got to round people back up because there's a game on Sunday.
And I'll tell you this, we got to round some other people back up. This DeMatha Good Counsel matchup has double-digit NFL players, alums in the league right now. We're covering it's like a semi-pro game we're covering. And there's a handful of guys that are die-hard Skins fans in here that also are die-hard league fans. But T. Strachan, John Tier, Vinnie Morin, Kevin Walsh, anyone else out there, that could use a little shout out. And I just those 4 amazing fans, amazing people, amazing friends and family members to us. We're thinking about all you guys, man. Have a great week.
I'm Ken Meringolo on behalf of First Amendment Sports. Thank God it's Tuesday. We'll see you guys in 7 days from now. How about a little bit of EO to send us out? Let's get us back to the right part of the song. All the way from Pasadena, California.
Bro.
Is that not it?
Luscious and thick.
Yeah, why not?
What are you doing?
Let's get this. We're still like it's showing that.
What did you type in?
What did I do?
Hashtag luscious and thick, and now your shit's broken?
Yeah, we're not getting any. No, sorry, EO. You're not getting it. What's up with that?
Maybe you should sing it with your new band name. Luscious and thick.
Luscious. Oh, I got you. You know what? I got this. I know how to fix it.
You have that smart hat on. It should be working just fine.
Well, sometimes when you go to...
Extra, tech all about it. How many Bitcoins are you costing us right now?
Oh.
Do you have any idea what's going on? For 11 years, Derek, I have no idea how to touch any of the buttons.
We're not
I'm not allowed.
We're not going to get the closing song tonight. I don't know why, but we're just not. It's just not happening.
It's a great close.
Oh, you know why? I know why. Because we were playing it to the speaker on the patio, on the green room.
We left the music running outside.
We left the music running outside.
Well, maybe if everyone didn't need to use the green room before the show, T.
Yeah. All right. Hey, guys, that's going to be it. We were playing EO's song in the green room. We will see. What do you got?
That upper arm poundness. I've been looking at it all day.
It's wintertime. It's wintertime. From here to here. From here to here. It is some serious upper arm paleness.
I've seen the light. It's a miracle.
We, by the way, are still live. Martha, we appreciate you. You continue to get it done.
Thank God, she's a great distraction.
Yeah. Yeah. At the end of the year, this will for sure be on our 2024. Look what we did now.
We really muffed the ending, Robert Cohen said. Still luscious, though. Holy
so
moly.
luscious and thick.
Creamy ass.